call this regular scheduled meeting to order. Please call roll.
Mayor Querem.
Here.
Commissioner Warren.
Here.
Commissioner Mabry. Commissioner Fabia.
Here.
Commissioner Newman.
Here. Please stand and join us in the pledge of allegiance. Do you have any public comments? And we'll go to the approval of minutes for Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion we approve the minutes for the regular council meeting on Monday, November 16th.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any corrections? Call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry. Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. And now we'll move on to invoices, and we'll start with Commissioner Newman.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight I have the invoices for the Department of Public Affairs and Accounts and Finance. Planning Department, $16,963.55. Administration is $18,461.95. Self-insurance, $112,672.29. Economic development is $24,000. Tourism, $1,501.59. Property department is $4,235.59. Community development is $32.50. I have reviewed these. The total invoices, by the way, are $177,867.47. I reviewed these bills. I find them to be true and accurate and move that they be paid.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any comments or corrections? Call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry. Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. Now we'll go to Commissioner Warren, who will speak for Commissioner Major.
Thank you. I have the bills and payroll for Department of Streets and Public Improvement of this total $261,974.55. Motor fuel tax of $16,978.50. Wastewater collection of $116,575.02. Wastewater treatment of $1,335.54. The cemetery is $9,229.71, and garbage expenditures of $14,375.83 for a grand total of $420,469.15. I've examined these bills, believe them to be true and correct, and move that they be paid.
Second. Motion's been seconded. Any comments, corrections? Call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry. Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. Now we'll move to Commissioner Davey.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the bills for public health, safety, and civil defense. For the police department, I have $53,631.09. For fire ambulance department, I have $42,860.21, for a total of $96,491.30. I have reviewed these bills. I believe them to be true and accurate, and move they be paid.
Second. Motion's been seconded. Any comments, corrections? Call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry. Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. And then we'll go to Commissioner Warren.
Thank you. Tonight I also got the bills and payroll of Department of Public Property Utilities. Electric department total $1,000. Electric generation of $191,349.74. Electric distribution of $49,365.39. Electric administration of $16,262.06. Water treatment of $70,057.61. Water distribution of $10,426.05. Water administration of $2,043.78, for a grand total of $334,504.60. I have found these bills to be true and correct, move that they be paid.
Second. Motion's been seconded. Any comments or corrections? Call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry. Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. Thank you, Commissioners. Now we'll move into regular business and back to Commissioner Newman.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight I have ordinance O-15-11-03-20, establishing establishing an enterprise zone in the city of Princeton. This is the second and final reading of this ordinance. I make a motion that we approve this ordinance.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any comments? Call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry, Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next, I have ordinance O-15-12-01-10, establishing a tax levy for corporate purposes commencing on May 1st, 2016. This is the first reading. I'm going to ask our city manager, Rachel, to go into a little more detail on this.
Sure. So this is the tax levy for 2015. Our estimated EAV is actually increasing this year to $1,836,018. And so, our levy though is actually decreasing because in 2014, the bond levy for the library was doubled up due to an oversight in 2013. So the bond levy is going back down to where it should be. So that's why you see a decrease in our tax levy for this year. So the total levy amount is $1,660,918. And then our rate is also going down just a little due to that increase last year in the bond. And as I mentioned before, our estimated EAV is actually increasing. So I will take any questions on the levy if you have any.
Well, I did receive several phone calls in the past couple of months from people wanting to know why their tax bills went up so much on the city side of all this stuff. And the reason why was that the doubling up of the library last year, that went into effect this year. That's what people are seeing on their tax bills. So next year, you should see a reduction in your tax bills on the library side. Is that motion been seconded?
I'm sorry, I'm going to make a motion that we approve this and move on to the second reading.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any additional comments? Call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry. Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. We'll go to city manager report.
Okay, so the first thing we have here is a report reviewing the sales tax. So this is a comparison of 2014 to 2015. These are when the sales tax was received, so not the month that the transaction took place. So for November of 2015, our total sales tax was $214,911.37, and this is actually a decrease of around $1,600. For total sales tax from May through November of 2015, we are down about $53,000 compared to May through November of 2014. That's all I have on that report. Is there any questions on that?
We're going to start addressing the sales tax report on a monthly basis, beginning with, obviously, with tonight.
Yeah, so we'll do that the first meeting of every month. Next, quickly, I just wanted to discuss the transfer station lease. Our current contract with the transfer station expires at the end of December, so December 31st. That was a 10-year contract with them, and this was Illinois Valley Waste. But with myself being new and us hiring a new street superintendent, I think it would be good for us to go out for an RFP just to make sure we're getting the best service we can at that transfer station. However, as I mentioned, the lease or the contract expires at the end of the month, so I am going to recommend a 12-month extension with the current Illinois Valley Waste and the current contract. We're working on some costs right now for the 12-month extension, and then we'll be bringing in an amendment to the contract to the council at the next meeting. So I'll likely ask to waive the first reading since we'll need to get that approved by the end of the month. So I just wanted to give a brief update on that.
Yeah, we okay with that?
You're okay with the 12-month extension?
They had requested a 24, but I think we'll be able to get it done in a 12.
And that makes sense with the hiring of a new street superintendent sometime in 2016, so.
Yep, that's all I have.
I have one item. I don't know if it was a month or a month and a half ago, we were given the opportunity to take ownership of the News Tribune building at the intersection of Peru and Main Street. The News Tribune was going to provide that building to us as a gift. And, as it turns out, we were hoping, we didn't want to spend a lot of money, with taking over that building. The idea was to demolish or deconstruct the building. And we were hoping that we'd be able to use volunteers to do that. But, since then, we've done some, research, and we sat down with our insurance company, and they told us that they would not be able to extend liability insurance to volunteers. The projected cost then of either deconstructing or demolishing that building runs anywhere from $16,000 to $20,000. And we don't, at this point in time, we do not want to get into a situation where we're spending that kind of money to tear down that building. We've got some other priorities that we need to address. Had it worked out, I think it would have been very worthwhile to pursue, but again, it's not. So I'm going to recommend that we show them at this point. Any comments? Any other items? And that is all I have. We have any old business? Any new business? Any public comment?
I just have one comment. As most of you may know, that we had a residential fire over the weekend. All accounts, it totally destroyed the residents, so please keep those folks in your thoughts and prayers, especially this time of year. They're gonna need a lot of encouragement going forward, so just keep those folks in your thoughts.
Thank you, Commissioner Warren. Very good. Anything else? Can I entertain a motion to adjourn to our next meeting?
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn to the next regular meeting on Monday, December 21st, 7 p.m. at City Hall.
Second.
Motion to second, call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry, Commissioner Fabia,
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye, this meeting is adjourned.
Dallas and Washington, that's why you don't know. You don't know and you don't